Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar today on taking your CI practice to the next level, essential skills and hands-on training. This webinar is hosted by Comintelli, a highly regarded company with a rich history of over 2 decades of experience in market and competitive intelligence. Leading the session today is Jesper Martell, the CEO of Comintelli, and joining him today is Luis Madureira, Chief Intelligence Officer at Uber Brands and Head of Academy at Comintelli.
Welcome everyone to today's Comintelli webinar. Welcome back again to you, Luis. We do these sessions at Comintelli. They are quite technology focused, since obviously Comintelli is a provider of tools and technology for competitive intelligence. But today we're going to have a slightly different angle, and we will be talking about CI skills. And in fact, this is something that we also brought up in my book that I wrote a couple of years ago, Guardians of Intelligence, where we interviewed almost 100 companies to find out what were the key success factors for competitive intelligence platforms that were robust and sustainable. And we came up with three pillars that are important to make this work. One is obviously technology, which we see a bit as maybe perhaps the engine of successful CI. But then there are two more pillars that also have to be added to the equation, and these have to work together. The second one is information sources, so having good relevant sources. And then the third one is the topic of today is people. Having people with the right skills. And we typically see this perhaps as if you have CI, if you see CI, your CI platform as a car, the intelligence vehicle, or whatever you want to call it, where in that case technology, you can see it as the engine, but you also need the right fuel for the engine, and in that case information sources. And then finally, you need the people, the drivers of the car as well, people who have the right skills and experience and have been trained to use the tools and the information to the best of their capacities. So you need this to sort of effectively use whatever CI platform you have. And I think that's the topic of today. Is what skills do you need to effectively run a CI platform? And we have a number of questions that I will be talking to Luis about, and we'll see where we end up. But I think we have plenty of interesting material, and I think Luis, you are the perfect person to talk about this with your background both in academia as a teacher and researcher, but also your very practical experience in doing CI as well.
Thank you. I hope I'm up to the challenge.
Yeah, I'm sure you are. So let's start this webinar on a more general level, perhaps, and talk a bit about, I mean, from your perspective, in what ways do you think CI education is becoming more and more important today, especially in these days with AI and machines and things like that?
Yeah, so AI is the new kid on the block, but it's a very important one because it's like bringing a new paradigm. I think that we as CI professionals, we need to relearn what CI is all about, because CI, as I said, is AI is really a paradigm shift. And to address the VUCA world, to address all the complexity, volatility, the speed to insight, so the speed at which the competitive environment is changing, we need to be flexible and adaptive to that. So if we consider, for example, John Prescott TAR model, so TAR means timely, accurate, actionable, and relevant. You will see that AI will address most of, if not all of these factors, if you want. So timely, AI is supposedly to increase our capacity to analyze information, either to collect but also to analyze and even communicate in some sense, right? Like, you know, if you use generative AI, ChatGPT, you know that it's like it will structure better your presentations. It will structure the text better. So it will actually kind of make it kind of easier for human to communicate in a higher level. That does not mean that you don't need the human, but you know, it increases speed. So it's like the timely aspect can be addressed.
Yep.
Actually, go. Sorry, you have a question.
No, go ahead.
On the accurate side, you know, accuracy, you know, you have the machine. If you give the proper instructions, the right instructions, the machine will be accurate. There will be no the human error kind of a factor, right? And we can leverage that. So, you know, tedious jobs that we need to do, we can actually kind of give that to the machine. The machine will do it perfectly fine. And, you know, as I said, much quicker. If you do it quicker, you know, you'll have more time to make decisions. So, you know, it will be more actionable because, you know, you have more time to actually kind of to ingest the insights, to understand what you can do with it, you know, make better decisions. Yeah. So that's a really, I would say a big kind of a factor for adopting AI within CI.
Yeah. No, and I think most people understand that it will have a big effect on CI. But if you look more, I mean, I know that you do a lot of courses and training at different institutes and universities and schools. But how do you see AI affecting training and education in general?
Yeah, it's already.
Sorry, AI. How do you see AI affecting training?
AI affecting education. Yeah, I understand.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, you know, AI can be how can I say this? A tool that will help education become more customizable at scale, right? So, you know, one of the issues that we always have, like when you're teaching whatever audience you're teaching, is that you have, you know, guys which are more expert than others. So, you know, you need to address this balance. Also, you need to make the content available in a way that people relate to that content. For example, you know, I can be more of a multi-choice guy. Other people can be more of a writing guy, you know. So, you know, having an AI can make it flexible and can make it customizable for people who are learning. So you can actually kind of, with AI, you can pick up the content and you just, let's like, you know, just do this for me or do that for me. Or, you know, I would like to do crosswords. Okay, we will have these, for example, on the academy. You know, like play with the content, and it's much easier because AI is going to make it much easier for teachers to actually kind of to do this. You know, if before I would kind of record, for example, an online session. Imagine an asynchronous online session. And I would need to record the whole thing, do my editing and stuff. Now you can do the editing with AI and you save a huge amount of time. So, you know, the content can be updated more frequently. So it's always updated almost in real time. So that is a huge advantage, you know, customization, but also being able to deliver the content in the way that people want to have it.
No, I get that. I totally get that it will help sort of the scale, and especially for you as a provider of education. But isn't there a risk that all this online education, AI-based education, becomes a bit, how shall I say, a bit boring, or sort of when you lose the interactivity and there's no.
No, it's exactly the opposite. So like it's much more interactive, you know, because if you do an online course, you know, just me talking to you, even if I have a collaborative tool, for example, normally when I do online tools, I have a collaborative tool and people, you know, we have like a whiteboard that everyone can write on the whiteboard. That's even more interactive than an offline session, because, you know, you can have 30 students writing on the board at the same time, but in an online world, you can actually have that. So what AI will allow us to do is like do that, but do much more than that. You know, it's like making it you can interact with the content in your own way. You know, you'll have, for example, and I can show you that. What we'll have also in the academy is like when the on-demand courses, which will be online, so everyone can do it at their own time and their own, you know, when they are available, not because they have to do it at that time, you know, and being worried about other stuff. So they can be, you know, they can have the ad space to actually to focus on it. Is that, you know, as the video is going, with AI, I can actually kind of introduce, whenever there's a concept we can actually kind of people will be able to see the concept and see the definition in real time. You cannot do that without AI, because it's going to, that was a huge amount of work. So now you can actually make this interactivity. If you want customized interactivity, you can make it available to participants, which you couldn't before, because it was too time consuming. It was, the economics were not just there. The time that you would need to invest to make it a little bit more interactive, it was not the economics were not there. So now you can actually do it because it takes less time. So it's not that you are actually kind of making the things more automated, or it's exactly the opposite. So if you leverage the technology in the right way, as you said, the three key success factors is the same thing for a CI platform or for an online course.
Good. So let's dig a little bit deeper then. And now we've talked a bit about AI in general and how AI can help sort of in CI training. But from your perspective, now that we have the powers of AI, what skill sets do you think will become more important to have for CI practitioners and analysts going forward?
Yeah. So
what should they be studying now?
That's a really good question. That I also addressed on the keynote that I did in Nashville, and you were there as well. Both on the keynote properly, and also on the scholarly kind of a track, on the academic track. And you have a huge set of skills that you need. So, for example, one of the skills that you'll be able to need is to process big data. Okay, so for you to process big data, our brain is not enough. It's just not enough. So it's impossible for you to do that. So you need artificial intelligence to do that. You need to discover, the hidden patterns behind the data. So what we call in CI, read between the tea leaves, right? Once you have the capability, the computational power to do in brute force and to analyze all the connections, you'll be able also to identify the hidden connections, which you would not see if you don't have artificial intelligence, because you cannot go through this. And I can give you just a very quick example. Imagine that you just want to understand what people think about your brand, or one of your brands, okay, or your company, okay, or your product. And you go into Google reviews, and you kind of you have 800 reviews. How long would you take to see all those? And you'd be subjective. You would not do it in one go. So your criteria will be different. Now, with AI, you can actually kind of just run the algorithm, and you kind of you do topic clustering, and you see exactly what are the topics that people are talking about. You can actually kind of calculate the sentiment and even the emotions. So you'll be able to do this. So this is definitely one of the skill sets. But go.
No, I was thinking, because these are things that maybe the machine can do for you. But what I'm looking for is sort of what's left for us humans to do then. Is it sort of more like softer skills, social analysis? Well, I mean, what can we do in this equation?
Yeah. So one of the critical skills is communication, and communication is both at the beginning. So when you identify, for example, the key intelligence topics, you need to be able to elicit information, not asking just questions, because even sometimes you ask the question, people don't know really the answer because they don't have it thought of. So you need to understand what they really want. That's one thing. That's communication on the empathy side. But you also need communication on when you want to communicate the insights or the strategic alternatives, or what is your recommendation. You need to sell in. So that part of the communication, the machine can help you do that, can structure, can develop your pitch if you want. It can structure the pitch, but you need to do it, because it's people. If I was having a meeting this morning, and someone said, you need to the exponential thing. It's not just, oh, this is the right answer. And if you are a CEO, you don't like that. You want to, but what other options do I also have? You don't want just the exact answer. So you need and you also need a very, very important skill, which is the artificial intelligence flattens the data. When I talk about flattening the data, is basically it identifies the pattern, but it doesn't see the outliers. The outliers are actually excluded. So you need human to actually to consider the outlier scenarios, because those actually are the ones who are going to be more disruptive. So you have to manage the ongoing thing, but you also need to manage the outlier scenarios, and you need creativity for that. The machine does not create anything, so that's why you call it GPT. Yeah, it's a pre-trained transformer. It's not a pre-trained creative, it's a transformer. So it just transforms with like one set of text into another set of text, but it's the same. The content is the same. It's not different. It doesn't create anything new.
Also, communications and creativity sound like two good skill sets to have.
Yeah, but let's not forget, I would say, that one of the most important, which is the analysis. The machine again is good at processing. The machine is very good in transforming data into information. When it comes to insights and possibilities, so when you're doing intelligence, you are creating hypotheses, right? Like, this is the strategy for a competitor. You never really know for sure, but you want to be very, 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 very certain about that. So you are creating hypotheses, and you need a human to do that. The machine is not. It can only process what you already have. If you don't have it on the data, the machine is not going to tell you that. It's completely impossible.
Yeah. Great, and so I'm hoping that some of these areas will, of course, be covered in the new Comintelli Academy that we've launched together. I'm really excited about that. I think it's bringing something new to the market, since we will be integrating most of the courses with our platform intelligence today as well. But maybe, in your words, what is the Comintelli Academy for you, and what makes it different from other types of CI education?
Yeah, so let me tell you why I think it's very different, and I completely say very different, because most trainings, even in general, not just in CI, but especially also in CI, they are based either on theory, and it is what it is. Like, what it is, or it's basically, it's the practice. So let's do this stuff, but then it's like very, very targeted and very specific. How do you collect information from the web? How do you do this? The drill. Now, what we're trying to do here is basically we are trying to get the best of both worlds. So we are actually we are basing everything in science. So this is not my perspective, it's not your perspective, it's not an organization perspective. So this is the scientific perspective. So everything is based on a solid scientific CI theory. Okay, this is one thing, which other courses are as well, but ours is definitely science-based, with the advantage that my doctorate is on CI science. So you're talking to the guy who actually did the thing in the first place. So you're going drinking to the source, and with all the theory that comes behind it. The second thing is the practice. So I'm not an academic by all means. So basically, I started in companies. I covered marketing, sales, trade marketing, strategy, innovation, and then intelligence and strategy. So I'm also sharing my own experience of taking not just when I was in Heineken, my CI function to world-class level in 2.5 years, but also on the consulting side, where I actually help other companies set their own CI functions, audit their CI functions, so we are sharing the experience on how you can do it. So, you don't have the time to make all the mistakes. So, learn with other people's mistakes, and, just make it you hit the ground running. The third point, which is completely new, I've never seen this done in any other CI training, and at least that I'm aware of, is actually integrating this with intelligence today. So you are integrating the theory, the practice, and the implementation. So you can actually start doing the things on the platform the next day, and connecting this with the question that you asked me before about the skills. You need to have to crunch all this information, and you need to in a VUCA or like this, you need to cover the whole thing, you know. So having a place where you integrate all of the information, so you can actually kind of transform that into insights, is critical, and that is actually what we're going to do here. So I'm going to, you know, share the theory, the practice, the experience, but also how you can actually kind of implement that, you know, in the platform. So, you know, for companies which are already Comintelli customers, and have the platform, you know, they can just, you know, just do it the next day. And the ones who are not customers, so they have the hypothesis to actually to become customers and to actually do it the next day. So, you know, it's a software as a service, so that's quite easy to do.
No, and I like that it's very hands-on, and that things you will be doing will be done in the platform, which means that if you participate in the course, you can actually go home and do it the day after, more or less.
Yeah, that's definitely the objective of the course.
Mm-hmm. Maybe describe the course a little bit more, since it's new, and I know we have 5 modules, and you've done this before. But what specific areas of CI will the courses cover? If you can just describe that a little bit.
Yeah. So it's very easy. You can see the whole set of activities that you need to do in CI. I'm not calling it intelligence cycle because, you know, the intelligence cycle is pretty much outdated, and, you know, we have our own way of the process of CI is actually kind of constituted by several activities. Okay, there's no real order on doing that. Yeah. So the point is, we are going to actually go through all those activities, like starting in planning. You know what is CI, how can you do it? You know, what type of key intelligence topics, key intelligence questions, and how do you identify that? Okay. Yeah. How you're going to monitor those sources? How
just quickly, Luis, if you're showing something, it's your screen is not being shared now.
No, I'm not showing. I'm just
good.
I'm just explaining. I have a slide that I can show afterwards, and we can go deeper. And now we just have a.
I just wanted to double check.
No, we can do that. So actually the participants who've been in the previous webinars, as we shown the slide before, we actually addressed all those implementation frameworks. Okay, so basically what we're going to do is we are going to use those implementation frameworks to, you know, one of the modules is the setup of the CI function. We're actually going to go through those implementation frameworks. But before doing that, we are going to go, you know, through as I said, the introduction to the topic. How do you do data-driven decision making? How do you plan? How do you collect? How do you monitor? How do you transform the data that is collected into information? How do you analyze that? You know, all the frameworks and so on and so forth. And then how do you communicate that as well? Because, you know, you can develop the best CI in the world if no one is going to make decisions and, you know, develop strategies, use them in early warning. There's no really point, you know. So you need to communicate that, and then also how you can actually kind of leverage that into the next level. So this is we are going to cover the main phases, or the main I don't want to call it steps, but, you know, the main activities of CI. You are going to cover what some people still call the intelligence cycle. So we'll cover that. Okay, so it's just kind of a way to have a structured content, and we'll cover all those topics. Okay, and that's
so everything from like collecting, analyzing, communicating it out,
and using as well. I forgot to say. So how do you use that in scenario planning? How do you use that in business wargaming? You know, how do you use that to actually to make decisions? You know, what types of decisions? How do you use that in early warning? This kind of stuff. So we'll cover. These are basically the foundation courses. Okay, we can do this online on demand. Okay, so people can actually kind of you know, when do I want to do this, or, you know, I'm pretty well versed on the collection. I don't know really, or I don't have that much experience in doing a 4-corner. How can I do that? Okay, let's go into that part of the course and actually kind of let's go deeper on that one. Okay.
So you don't need to do all 5 courses in this package. You can kind of pick and choose the ones that you are most interested or find most valuable. Yeah.
Exactly. So you can, and it's on demand, so you can do it whenever you want. You can even do it as you go along. You know, if you are doing the process, you know, if you are going now, we're going to start the planning processes the planning process in many companies. You know, the strategic planning process, or the strategic develop, design, and then planning. You know, you can actually kind of go through the courses as you want, and you can go through it as you go along in your process.
And are all of these courses online, and how is the interactivity with you going to be? Is there sort of any chance for people to communicate with you, or how what's the format of the courses?
Yeah. So basically, I want it to be as interactive as possible. So you'll be interactive as you go along, you know. But if you have any questions, you can actually, you know, drop me an email, or we are still seeing what is the best way. Probably we'll have even several channels, so we can actually kind of give you a quick answer as soon as possible, you know, because if you are doing on demand, there's going to be, you know, asynchronous demands. So we are thinking how we can actually kind of do this as quick as possible, but you will have access to me as well, and that's also I would say a pretty new feature that normally other courses don't have. You know, you have the course and that's it, you know, but here you'll have access to me in this case, and I'll be able to even, you know, if you have any question on any specific thing that you see I really don't understand, or I want to be, you can go a little bit deeper on how I can do this. I can actually share the experience on top of that. So we want to give you the flexibility, but not taking the depth of knowledge and the possible to actually to ask questions. So, and those are, as I said, the foundational courses, you know, the basic stuff.
Basics,
but although being basic and foundational, the depth is there, and it's how do you take the collection to world class? You know, it's not just you know, how do you collect basic information that everyone pretty much can do on their own.
And will you in some way be using? I mean, I know that you have the theory very well grounded, and I like that you call it a CI science, because then it means that it is very well defined. But are there any? Will you be using any like practical cases and examples and exercises to in this as well? And how will that be done?
Yeah. So we are going to have, as I said, actually kind of let me share the screen and share with you the. Okay. So just opening a little bit the file. So for example, this is you'll have the videos, but then, you know, as you go along, you have the glossary, which is embedded in the video. So as you go along in the video, if someone mentions competitive intelligence, you can come and get it here. So this is the full glossary, but you also have it within the video, and I can show you a screenshot of that as well. Not just to go through all the video, but for example, you can have concept cards. Okay, so if you, to make sure that you actually kind of you remember, you can turn the card and see what is the definition. And these are just examples. Okay, so there's going to be even more than this. Or for example, you know, a quiz, a multi-choice. Okay, or let me go into this one is with a multi-choice here. So you know. Did I really understand what is all about? You know, because this is when you check your knowledge, or you know, you can drag and drop. Okay, I'm just going to do some things here completely random. Okay, because I want to show you something on the end. Flashcards, you know, make sure that I remember. So this is really good for you for the knowledge to actually kind of to stick in your mind. And you even have a summary at the end. So, you know, like at the end of each module or each course or each part of the course, you'll have, you know, the key points and the summary. And finally, you can even monitor your progress. So, like, you know, if the ones that you answer, you know, you'll see how much you progress on each of the course itself, but also, you know, how did you do in each of the questions that you answered.
And that means it looks like, I mean, in this setup, you can have some sort of a self-assessment, and that at the end of the course, will there be some sort of certification as well, so that people can prove that they know something?
Yes, self-assessment, of course. This is basically it. This is this is the example of the self-assessment. We will also have the certification for the participants who actually kind of cover the whole thing. So they have they will have a Comintelli Academy certificate. And let's not forget that this is becoming more and more important, because more and more people are using the platform. So this is becoming also a skill that is recognized in the market. You know, it's not just oh, do you know how to do CI? Yeah, I know how to do CI. You know, I learned it from I have the solid background on the theories, or solid grounded on the theory, but I also know how to do it, you know, with the CI platform. And this is a skill that not that many people have. So, you know, if you are certified on this skill, this is another differentiating factor when you are applying for the CI role.
Mm-hmm. Great. I think I mean, time is ticking quickly, and we're at the half hour now. So I think we can actually open up if there are any questions at this point. I don't know if there are, nice. Dorian.
So we have one. Yeah, we have one that says, do you believe the CI manager must have sales skills to engage with users? One of our biggest problems is low user / engagement in organizations. How can we scale user usage and engagement?
Yeah, that's definitely the way to go. So, you know, and that is also one of the points why you need CI education, yeah, to cover all these areas, you know, because there are CI professionals which are amazingly good in terms of, you know, technical terms, you know, analysis, but then if it's not communicated properly, you know, so you need to know how to pitch an idea, you need to know how to sell in a recommendation, and you need to know, you need to do this in a special way, depending on who is your stakeholder, you know. So if it's sales, you might have one approach. If it's marketing, you have another approach. If it's the CEO, you might have even another approach. So, you know, for the CEO, you must be a trusted advisor. So independence is paramount, and you need to be trusted, you know. For sales,
and how do you become like trusted in that sense? I mean, yeah. that's it's easy to say, but hard to do.
Yeah. No, there's a full part of the course just dedicated to that. So actually, there's a really good book that actually kind of you know, explains you exactly how do you do that. So you need to, you know, your mindset, the way you approach the CEO, you know, that, you know, respecting time, for example, you know, it's critical for a CEO. You need to be ready to present, you know, a one-pager, actually a pitch, you know, a 1 minute pitch. You need to present a 5 minute, you know, summarize that in 5 minutes. You need to be able to do that. You need to be able to present it in 20 minutes, and you need to be able to present it in an hour, because, you know, if someone says, oh, you just, you know, you have a 15-minute slot to present the insights from your analysis to answer our question, right? Like, you are there, you have a presentation for 15 minutes, you know, but if they ask you more, you know, what do you do? Oh, I need to go back. You don't have that chance, right? Like, you need to be prepared to actually kind of, you know, to speak the whole hour. You need to have the what's behind. You need to explain all that stuff, but explain that in a way that it's not also boring and it's not too much detail, you know. So you need to, when you do a presentation, you know, you need to have the pitch, the 5 minutes, the 15 minutes, or not 15, 20, and then the hour. I'm saying 20 because this is the amount of time that most people can actually kind of maintain their attention. So, you know, that's you need to be able to do that whatever you do in 20 minutes. That's why TED Talks are actually between 15 and 20 minutes.
Great. I have another question here. Can you say something about when the first courses are starting, and sort of how the pricing levels or anything like that, and what's included in that?
So we are planning to launch this at Simicom, and actually kind of do a live presentation, and
which is early October.
Early October, 4th of October, if I'm not mistaken. So 1 month from now. Price wise, this will be below the average of the courses that you already have on the market. Probably even a little bit below the academic ones, because academic ones most of the times are actually a little bit more expensive. and with full flexibility, which normally that's not the case when you go into academic certifications, and even CI certifications. You always have a date that you need to apply with. Okay,
great.
We didn't talk about the advanced courses. So you have the foundations, and then you're going to have specific courses which will be taught completely live. And the reason why they are live, it's because it's a more complex topics, or it's more specific, more complex. So in that case, and sometimes even involves more technology. So it's better to be there. And on that case, we'll do it live, and we will kind of announce dates, or depending on if a company has enough participants, we can actually kind of set up a specific date just for that.
Perfect.
I remember that because of the date.
I have one final question, but Dorian, are there any other questions from the audience?
There are more.
So we have one that says, in my opinion, the most important skill of a CI manager is relationship building and management. You need to connect well with your users, key stakeholders, and ambassadors, understand their core needs for intelligence, ask touch questions, align expectations, etc. What is your opinion of my statement?
Yeah, like 100%, actually 200%. As I said, you have to be able to understand what people need. So in innovation, you call that unarticulated needs. So these are the needs of the stakeholder, of the decision maker, that sometimes they are not able to articulate, they are not able to make in a specific way. Okay, so that is a skill that you can learn. But it's like you use a design thinking principle, which is called empathy. So you need to create empathy with the people in front of you, and to actually to really understand what they are looking for. Even sometimes they are saying something that is not really that, but what they really want is the other stuff. So we need to identify that. Okay, and then even answering to the other question, the how do you create engagement? So this is also going to be addressed in the courses. Is how do you become the trusted advisor, but not just on the CEO level, because it's a different point. It's like we are talking about on the board, but also how do you create engagement with these people? How do you, as I said again, how do you sell in? How do you sell it in? But in the different way. How do you market your CI capability internally on the organization? Because that's really, really important. It's like, how do you create a brand for your CI capability internally? Because if people, it's not just the CEO, right? If you are not trusted by the rest of the organization, there's no point. They're not going to share information with you, which is a major source of information, critical information. But they will not consider you because they don't have you on the top of their minds, or they are not aware that you exist, or they don't remember that you exist. So that's not going to make you any favor. So you really need to work on that, and that's going to be definitely addressed on the courses.
I have another one. Can a company hire you or someone from the academy to train an internal team, either online or on site?
Yes, definitely. So I think that I already kind of mentioned this. If there is a company that wants to have a specific training just for their company, happy to do that, providing that we have the leverage to do that. So happy to discuss that option. Because that's going to be much more focused on that company, on that industry, on the competitive environment, on the countries or markets that country is present, and so on and so forth. So it's going to be I would say a little bit more relevant, because it's like just tailored to the needs of that organization. And we can also the course is flexible, so the idea here is not to we are not delivering slide decks. We are basically trying to share knowledge, so people apply that knowledge and kind of use the Intelligence Today platform to to develop the intelligence, to communicate the intelligence, to create that engagement that I was talking. I was focusing only on the human side, but you need to make the intelligence available, to the right people at the right time. Sometimes you are busy in a meeting and people need that information now. So that moment is where the platform is really useful when it comes to communication, because it makes the whole thing available, right? And if you develop your deliverables, your CI deliverables correctly, you can even give it a really nice look. It's not just a form, but also the function, right? So that's when it all becomes alive and it really works for the audience. And I think we have another question.
Yeah, I have just I'll just jump in. I have a question as well. Here is how, because this will be some sort of e-learning platform that we will be providing. Will there be some sort of way for attendees or for alumni to communicate and network with each other?
Yeah, so I'm thinking of creating a group. My experience is that I've done this in the past. People don't really then communicate that much. They create their own channels of communication. But definitely this is something that we can do, depending on the engagement. But yes, the idea is to have something like that.
I do have one more. How well are you connected to the Intelligence Today platform and the best practices with that system?
I'm not sure if I understood the question, but the idea is that I'm working within Comintelli, so from within the Comintelli. So you have all the resources available to make it work.
And I think a bit just, you are very experienced and certified in Intelligence Today. It's just that you know the platform really well. I think that's maybe the
yeah. I'm also an ambassador for the platform for a few years now.
Question, yeah.
But yeah. So also just to and I probably that's the question. I might not even understand the full scope of the question. But I've been setting up platforms for quite a while now. So I started my CI journey in 2007, a few years ago, and I've been setting up platforms, not just Intelligence Today. So I know that I've gone along the evolution of those platforms and actually kind of working on the development of those platforms. So I'm not just a user. I also have some sort of kind of a product development expertise on those platforms, and giving feedback to improve the platform itself. What we are going to do is also to develop the for example, templates that then the companies who do the training can actually kind of use. There's a lot of collaboration, if you want, between the education side and the technical side. So it's not two different things. It's one thing that has two outputs.
Great. So one final question then, and the question is if you could give 3 reasons why I should sign up to the Comintelli Academy. 3 reasons from your perspective.
So I think we pretty much mentioned them also. I was trying to summarize them to 3. Yeah. I think one of the reasons, which is the reason that I actually kind of also makes me do these kind of things, is constant learning. You are a lifelong learner, either you want it or not. If you're not, you're going to be outdated and you're going to be out of market. So that's I would say the biggest reason of all. The second one is to also on that note to always do a refresh and see what is being done, what is out there, so you can actually benchmark where you are versus the state of the art, and then the three reasons I gave you. It's science based, so it's not my opinion, It's not someone else's opinion. It's like it's been tested. So just for you said a while ago, you call it CI science. I don't call it CI science. I actually I make it a CI science, meaning we actually went through the empirical validation of the whole theory. So and the theory was developed actually based on artificial intelligence. So it was not my opinion that was validated. I actually collected all the definitions on CI and then used AI to be completely objective, So we actually understood what were the dimensions. And then we interviewed 61 top experts, and I'm talking about all types of experts. I'm thinking that Amina is in the call. I think I interviewed him as an expert as well. I interview you as well, Jasper. So we have software. We have consulting. We have in-house professionals. We have scholars. We have teachers. You have researchers. And we have it from all over the world. So this was validated by people from Japan to China to the US, going through South America, Europe, and so on and so forth. So this is not someone else's opinion or someone's opinion. This is this is like been validated by the whole community, if you want. So I think this is a really good reason for you to, at least to come and see and know. And then of course you can agree, you can not agree, but this is like this is also welcome. So feedback and discussion. So this is really the point of coming, and see where you are, take your practice to the next level, because we are all experts in CI. Sometimes we at each end of our industry, of our market, and so on and so forth.
Great. Yeah, I think all the questions are done.
Yeah.
Or?
Yep, I think we're good. I want to take a minute to thank you, Jasper and Luis, for an insightful presentation. Thank you to all of our participants for being with us today. If you have any additional questions, please don't hesitate to contact us.